Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be working on this really old kit from Velleman, which is a table tennis game for the TV. I don't even have RCA cables to use with this. Oh, wow, that is really bent. So I'm going to have to go out and get some after I'm done building this to even test the thing. But it looks like it'll be a fun build anyway, and I figured what the heck. Anyway, so I'm going to try a slightly different format with this video. I'll be cutting the whole thing into 15-minute segments and releasing them as a playlist. We'll see how well that works. Otherwise, I'll go just back to my normal time-lapsing of boring parts. So my challenge for this will be to make the boring parts not boring. So let's just get started. As usual, we're going to start with the, we'll turn my soldering iron here on. We'll start with the lower components that lay flatter to the board and work our way to the taller components that stand a little prouder off of the board. So we'll just get started with the resistors. I've got my little cheat sheet off screen here. So we're going to start with the 2.2 k ohm resistors. Those are these guys here. You'll be able to tell they're 2.2 k by the fact that they're red, red, red. So that's 2 with a 2 and then 2 zeros. So 2200 ohms. So we'll just pull these off the ammo pouch here, or ammo strip, like so. And we'll bend these over like that. And it says that these need to be for R1 and R2. Simple enough. Let's see. There's R2. And R1 is right here. So I won't be able to tell you too much about the inner workings of this thing because, as with a lot of these things, it's got a little computer chip here. This one is actually... It's a Motorola chip, but it's branded Velleman. That's really interesting. I might have to see if there's any datasheet or anything on that particular piece of circuitry there. Do a little bit of a follow-up on it if I find anything. Anyway, so we're just gonna start the soldering process here. Love that smell. Now, Velleman released a series of kits that have the pads aren't tinned on the bottom of the board, which makes them just a little bit more challenging to solder, but I found that a slightly hotter soldering iron tip solved that problem. Anyway, so there's R1 and R2. Now we'll move on to the 1200 ohm resistors, which I believe will be these, yep. So these are brown, red, red. So you've got a 1, a 2, and then 2 zeros, so 1200 ohms. And we'll just repeat the process, pulling them off of the tape here. Oops, I already started bending that one. Come on. Now this kit was released in, if the date stamp on it is to be believed, let's see, April 29th of 2011. Anyway, so this will be R3 through R9. So, just R3. R3. Just gonna bend all these first. And then so the reason I'm trying to do 15-minute segments in the videos is that statistically, apparently, the most number of videos that are watched to completion are videos that are in the 15-minute range. So I'm going to try that, see what my watch statistics do. A bunch of background information that you guys probably aren't totally interested in. Let's see, R4. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's see. We need R5, which is over here. And R6. And R7. R8. This is actually going to be kind of an interesting kit to build because there's some structural components to it too. And then R9, right over here. Resistors are non-polar components. I just like to line them up neatly so that they're all pointed in the more or less the same direction. All right, now we'll just start soldering these together. There we go. Like I said, sometimes a little difficulty getting the solder to flow evenly, but there we go. Try not to get my head into the shot here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm soldering just one pin of each of the resistors. And then I'm going to just flip it over real quick. Make sure they're all laying nicely on the board. If I find one that's not quite... Oh, that's really warm! If I find one that's not quite nice looking, I'll just quickly readjust it. This isn't necessary at all, it's just cosmetic, but I like my projects generally to look nice and neat, so we'll... So I'm experimenting with a new light. I picked up a high color rendering index LED panel from a store called UG International. Apparently they've carved quite a niche for themselves in the filming and photography industry, where they build these really high quality LEDs. Do I have one close at hand? I don't. That produce a much more tungsten or blackbody radiation-like light. So it's not quite warm white, and it's not quite cold white, but it produces a much nicer color range for photography and video. Big Clive already did a little shtick on these, and that's actually why I picked up the ones that I have. If I remember to do it, and I keep forgetting to do the cards when I say I'm going to do them. So if I ever say I'm going to do a card in a video and I forget, please tell me in the comments so I can get it up. Anyway, I'm going to put a card to Big Clive's video right here-ish, as long as I remember to do so. And you can see him demonstrating his high color rendering index LEDs. I'll be doing a similar video with mine. I got a different style of LED than his, but he's the one that sent me to that company. And yeah, he's also the one that inspired me to begin YouTube. So there's that too. Anyway, I'm just trimming down these leads before we move on to the next set of components, because it was starting to get a little busy back here. So there we go. All right, so the next one, wow, I really singed myself. The next one is going to be the 470 ohm resistor here, just one lonely little 470. One of my favorite color combinations on a resistor. It's yellow, purple, and brown. There we go. and that guy goes over into R10. So, where are you, R10? R10, there we go. Flip that over. There we go. Oh, on the subject of forgotten cards, if you leave me a comment to remind me to put one up, kindly also put a time code on it so that I don't have to search through the whole video. Although I suppose it'll be easier with 15-minute segments, but with the longer videos, it can be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do a time card. Well, where the heck was I supposed to do it? Alrighty, so now we just need some 100k ohm resistors, and these are these brown, black, yellow. So that's a 1, a 0, and then how many zeros do we need? Yellow. And 5 zeros. I always have to think about some of those sometimes. I know the lower values, but when you start getting into the higher values, I start forgetting which colors are which. There we go. It's always the multipliers that I get a little bit of a mental hiccup on. There we go. So we're right on track time-wise here. Looks like I'll be able to wrap up this segment at the end of the resistors. So we'll just keep going here. There's those folded up. All right, and that's going to be R11 through R15. So, R11, R12. I suppose I don't really have any other resistors on the board except for this variable one. Ooh, pardon me, sorry about that. 12, 13. But just in case, I like to double check rather than just slapping them into the remaining resistor positions. 14 and 15. There we go. We'll flip that over again. Some of these are going to be a little wonky. There we go. All right. Those leads look decently straight. I'll just solder them on again. Check to make sure they look reasonably neat. Yep, they look good to me. I probably just totally pulled that out of shot. New camera angles, new position. I'll have to come up with something better than the kitchen table to do this, but for now it works. There we go. There's the resistors all soldered on there. That's surprising. Soldering all those resistors takes 15 minutes. There we go. We'll just trim that off. All right, there we go. All right, so that's pretty much all the time I have for this segment. It's going to be a little short, but it's a nice stopping point. We finished the resistors. So I hate having to do this, but it's really important. If you subscribe, I'll put that thing here. I'll throw a video that YouTube thinks you'll like there, and I'll throw a playlist that you might find interesting here, but I'll be picking that one, so hopefully I get it right. Anyway, that's enough for this segment. I'll see you in the next video. Ask questions in the comments below. Give me a like if you liked it. and we'll see you in the next video.